So we'll start Kirtan. Requesting everyone to switch on their video if possible. Okay. When Prabhuji will give the session, then.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Yeah.
Anshika would like to do Kirtan, Prabhu. Okay, at the end, she will do Narsimha Pranam, okay?
Yeah. Yes, Prabhuji.
You can ask her in advance so that she will be prepared after Prabhuji's session. At the end, we will do Narsimha Pranam. She will do and we will.
Yeah, yes, Prabhuji. I'll ask.
Okay. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Iti Namine
Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamiti Namine.
Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shanyavadi Pashyatya Dikritarine
Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatadesatarini.
Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Sadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda
Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda.
Jaya Shri
Hare Krishna Chaitanya
Prabhu
Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaur Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri
Srivasadi
Advaita
Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura
Gaur Bhakta
Bhakta
Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Krishna Krishna
Hare
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 Rama,
Hare Krishna
Hare
Rama Rama,
Ram
Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna Krishna, Hare
Krishna Hare
Hare,
Hare
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 Rama,
Rama
Hare
Rama
Rama,
Rama
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 Rama, Hare
Rama
Hare,
Hare
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 Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama,
Hare
Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare
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 Rama,
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama,
Rama
Rama
Rama,
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare
Hare
Ram,
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Rama,
Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
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 Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Ram,
Ram
Ram
Ram,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Hare.
Hare,
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Krishna Krishna,
Hare Ram,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Ram,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare,
Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare
Hare
Ram,
Ram,
Hare
Hare,
Ram, Ram Ram,
Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Krishna Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Ram,
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Ram
Hare,
Ram, Hare
Krishna,
Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare
Hare
Rama,
Hare
Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare,
Hare
Hare Rama,
Rama, Hare
Hare Rama,
Rama,
Rama
Rama
Rama,
Rama,
Hare
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 Hare,
Hare.
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama,
Rama
Hare
Rama,
Hare,
Hare
Jaya
Hare.
Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya
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 Prabhupada,
Prabhupada, Jaya
Jaya Prabhupada,
Prabhupada, Prabhupada,
Prabhupada,
Jaya
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 Prabhupada.
Prabhupada,
Gurudeva, Jaya Gurudeva, Guru, Jaya Gurudeva, Jaya
Jaya Guru Deva, Jaya Guru
Guru
Deva,
Deva, Jaya
Guru
Guru Deva,
Deva, Jaya
Guru
Guru
Deva,
Deva,
Jaya
Hari
Guru Deva.
Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol,
Nitya Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol,
Hari
Hari
Bol,
Bol,
Hari
Nitya Gaur
Bol, Nitai
Hari
Gaur,
Bol,
Hari Bol.
और प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय
Jai,
प्रभुपाद की जय
Jai.
की जय हरे कृष्णा थैंक यू once again everyone for joining प्रभु जी you start you ready प्रभु हरे कृष्णा
Hare Krishna. Is it better, Prabhuji?
yes प्रभु जी very loud and clear
Yes. So I'm still in Odisha. I'm just working around different ways.
thank you so much प्रभु जी
Hare
for your time
Hare. Thank you very much. So, like I'm audible and visible. It's clear, Prabhuji.
yes प्रभु जी
Thank you for giving us an opportunity to share some glories of Krishna. And nice to see our Satyajit Prabhu, Avinash Prabhu, our Jitendra Prabhu family, and our Khushbu Mataji. Are we expecting anybody else, Prabhuji, or we can get started?
We can start, Prabhuji.
We can get started.
Yes, Prabhu, we can start.
So today is Ekadasi. And discussing that how this is called also Bhakti Janani. Really the mother of devotion. So whatever we perform a little bit in the process of devotional service, we get so much benefit out of it. And we thought that we'll discuss some glories of Krishna. But before that, I would really like to hear from our Avinash Prabhu, Satyajit Prabhu, Jitendra Prabhu, how you have been doing, and also Kusuma Mataji, during this lockdown, during this staying at home, how you have been spending your time. I know it's not easy while going through this tough time, like physically, mentally, spiritually. Being alone is not easy. Being locked down within four walls is not easy for us, for our spouse, or for our children, or from the office perspective also. So how you have been able to manage so far? How you are doing it? Because I see smiling in your face. I want to know the secret of your smilings. Yes, maybe we can start with the Jitendra Prabhu and family.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes. Very well, very well. Yes, I remember. आप दीपक प्रो के घर पे आए थे just couple of months back and we had met. फिर प्रो जी बोल रहे थे आप थोड़ा बिजी थे बहन के शादी में and all that.
So we just came from the West Bengal, Bihar, that last month.
Okay.
So means
Okay.
that was
Okay.
means 1 month we were roaming here and there. So that time only Corona came came back. तो उसके बाद मतलब यहाँ हम लोग here we are just staying at home only and trying to be doing chanting some one round, 2 round with complete whole family. Then
Very good, very good.
And remaining office work and Rashri ka to means housework and iska school started, so he's doing his school work. Everybody busy in his daily work. Sometimes we walk for go down and walk for 30 minutes, 1 hour. Prabhuji, you are able to listen?
Yes, Prabhu. Yes, Prabhu. You are audible.
And Sudhir,
Yes, Gopal,
yeah.
I think.
Freeze ho gaya.
Yeah. I think network issue. Let's wait for some time.
Internet अच्छी प्रॉब्लम नहीं हुआ.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Can you hear now, Prabhu? You're on mute, Prabhu.
Yeah, I was hearing from Jitendra Prabhu that how they come together to chant couple of rounds every day.
उसके बाद बस that's life. Life is going on in lockdown. And that is kind of a one sense is better also. Just stay at home and do all your work and do your bhakti also. No outside disturbance. And
very good, very good.
तुम बोलना चाहते हो? बोलो. हाँ ये बोलेगी रश्मि.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna from
Hari Bol, Hari Bol.
मैं भी इधर
बोलिए
मैं भी इधर मुझे स्टार्ट की हूँ. दीपक प्रभु जी मुझे ज्वाइन करवाए हैं हिंदी क्लास के लिए.
अच्छा.
हाँ मैं भी मेरी 1 वीक से 2 वीक से, हाँ 2 वीक्स में भी ज्वाइन की हूँ। सो अच्छा लग रहा है मुझे ये गीता, भगवत गीता का।
अच्छा, वेरी गुड,
हाँ
वेरी
रीडिंग करने में। सो
वेरी
मैंने
गुड,
चैंटिंग ये सब कर रही हूँ।
वेरी गुड, बहुत अच्छा लगा।
हाँ
बहुत
तो
अच्छा,
अच्छा,
मतलब करीबन 2 हफ्ता हो गया आप चालू किए माता जी ये हिंदी
हाँ
वाला
हाँ
प्रोग्राम?
हाँ हिंदी वाला स्टार्ट किए तो मैं भी ज्वाइन की हूँ। तो बहुत अच्छा लग रहा है सुनने में, इंटरेस्ट भी
बहुत
अच्छा, इंटरेस्ट भी लग रहा है। मैं भी स्टार्ट मतलब तो आगे कर रही हूँ।
वेरी गुड, वेरी, बहुत बहुत खुशी हुआ माता जी सुन के कि आप है ना माला भी चालू कर रहे हैं, रोज कर रहे हैं, और रोज ये सत्संग भी, हिंदी वाला सत्संग भी दीपक प्रभु का अटेंड कर रहे हैं, है ना। सो लाइक मैं भी जब सुना कि दीपक प्रभु दीपाली माता जी वो जो प्रोग्राम चालू किए हैं, है ना, सब उनके घर के लिए, राइट, parents in law, cousins, relatives, like how he is bringing everybody into Krishna consciousness, Krishna भावना अमृत सबको डुबा रहे हैं, है ना। तो बहुत खुशी लगा मेरे को यही सुन के, मैं सोचा कि मैं भी थोड़ा सा उनसे इंस्पिरेशन लेता हूँ करके मैं ये प्रोग्राम में आ गया। वेरी
हिंदी में
नाइस,
थोड़ा,
वेरी
हिंदी में
नाइस।
नहीं था ना स्टार्ट पर, मुझे इसलिए मैं थोड़ा सा पीछे थी। तो हिंदी में क्लास थोड़ा सा
अच्छा,
कंटिन्यू हुआ तो मैं इसलिए
यस
कब से बोल रही थी कि
यस,
जब नहीं होगा तो मैं ज्वाइन करूंगी। ऐसे में करती थी
वेरी नाइस।
हस्बैंड के साथ, तो फिर अब थोड़ा
अच्छा,
कंटिन्यू कर रही हूँ।
बहुत बहुत अच्छा माता जी, बहुत
हाँ
अच्छा।
क्योंकि बुक पढ़ने के बाद ज्यादा,
जैसे जैसे
हाँ
या नहीं, जैसे अच्छा लगे माता जी, जैसे किसी को है ना अपना लैंग्वेज में बताए तो अच्छा लगता है, किसी का ना घर के आजू बाजू में रहते हैं तो वो बोलते तो अच्छा लगता है। सो वट एवर वे इट वर्क्स, इट वट एवर वे बोलते हैं ना, यन तेन प्रकार है ना, मन कृष्ण निवेश है। जैसे भी करके भगवान के नाम पे, उनके कथा पे, उनके गुण पे हमारा मन को निवेश करना चाहिए, जैसे भी करके। सो एंड अच्छा लगा, राइट, लाइक आई फॉरगॉट योर सन्स नेम, आपके बेटा का नाम क्या है, भूल गया मैं।
जश्न मतलब
जस्ट,
जश्न
अभी वो भी बैठा है।
अभी
बहुत
हमारे साथ एक हम प्रभु जी हमारे साथ एक राउंड करता है, ये कभी कोई मतलब करता है, ऑलमोस्ट डेली चैंटिंग कर रहा है। हम लोग बैठते हैं एक राउंड करने के लिए शाम में, तो करता है एक साथ।
वेरी नाइस, बहुत अच्छा है,
कोई ट्राई करता है करने का।
वेरी नाइस,
हम्म,
वेरी नाइस।
माता जी
अरे,
प्रोग्राम डेली कर रही हैं आप, और आज वो अपनी डिजायर बता रही थी दीपाली को कि शी कैन टेक नाउ 1 राउंड, मतलब शिक्षा सेरेमनी ले सकती हैं श्रद्धावान नेक्स्ट टाइम। तो
अरे
बहुत खुशी की बात है, बहुत अच्छा लगा कि माता जी कर रही हैं और शी इज रेडी नाउ। श्रद्धावान
क्या है ना, मतलब जब हम संग में आते हैं तो उसका प्रभाव जरूर पड़ता है। सो लाइक समटाइम्स इट टेक्स, कुछ वक्त लगता है ना, वो हमको एहसास होने में, वो फीलिंग आने में, बट ये नेचुरल प्रोसेस है ना, ये स्वाभाविक है। जब भी हम भगवान के नाम सुनते हैं, कथा सुनते हैं, तो वो उद्दीपन जागृत हो जाता है। बहुत अच्छा लगा कि दीपक प्रभु और दीपाली माता जी का इतना अच्छा आपका सत्संग चल रहा है। बहुत खुशी,
हाँ बहुत अच्छा लग रहा है।
वेरी
हरे
वेरी
कृष्ण
गुड,
प्रभु,
वेरी गुड,
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु।
वेरी यस। सत्यजीत प्रभु, want to say? No, you are in Odisha, Prabhuji, or you
Yes.
are in Bangalore? Where are you?
No, Prabhuji, I'm in Bangalore only, and we went actually to Odisha in December. Then
Okay.
after my daughter's exam was there, she's in class 9th. So
Okay.
we back to Bangalore, and from there onwards we are continuing. And then all these new COVID cases came, and then lockdown and all.
Hmm. Understood.
So,
Understood.
Prabhuji, it is great
So
pleasure
how you?
to listen you. Actually, first I listen the from अविनाश प्रधान प्रभुजी घर पे आए थे. Then the भगवत गीता स्थापना किए थे. From that event I first know you. So
Yeah.
I think always I I saw some video and something from the Google by searching your name itself when you have something said or given on those. So it is always nice and pleasure to have you on this. And in lockdown, yes, I mean, home work and all ongoing, and we're not going outside. Whenever we are having some time, we are going to rooftop, I mean terrace, and then having some small walking and all. And now even my wife and my daughter also, they are sitting because we used to do puja evening time. Sometimes they are also sitting and doing at least one round in the evening time only. So that is just they have started small little Krishna consciousness towards that.
Very good, very good. Yes, Rosie, yes, Rosie. I see so many wonderful families here, like how Deepak Prabhu is transforming his family, Jitendra Prabhu, Kapura family aa gaye hain, and I see now Avinash Prabhu, Sati Prabhu, like very wonderful family atmosphere here. It's just we have now extended family and everybody, like so basically, like what do we say here, like once you talk about Krishna consciousness, Krishna Bhavanamrit bolte hain, right? Lekin jab hum ghar mein sab members, right, मिलके करते हैं तो बहुत ही आनंद आता है, because it's like a marathon race, right? ये not sprint race नहीं है कि 100 मीटर का चलो मैं आगे बढ़ूं, और मैं सब कुछ करूं, उसमें मजा नहीं आता है, तो पहले बनने का हमारा इरादा नहीं है. हमारा इरादा क्या है कि हम पूरा जो हमारा जो गृहस्थ संस्कार है, हमारा जो परिवार है, उनको कैसे हम सब मिलके जाएं और सबको कैसे caring and sharing and really understanding the value of Krishna consciousness, and I really apply it into our life. That is important. Yes, it's a very blissful process, and Sudhir, very happy to hear that आपका घर पे भी शाम को रोज थोड़ा सा कीर्तन करते हैं या थोड़ा सा माला करते हैं. So you are in Accenture now, Prabhuji?
No, now I moved to, I think after Accenture, Tata Communication, and then I am currently working with Netcracker. Currently with Netcracker, and most probably in next 2 months I'll be in new company. I just got one offer. Yeah. All glory of Prabhupada and Krishna and all association of you all, because of that blessing only it is carrying, and that is where I am little step forwarding on the success of my IT career.
Very good, very good, very good. Yes, Lord takes care of his devotees in every way.
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you so much.
Definitely, once you're in Bangalore, we're looking forward to visit your house.
Yes, Prabhuji. Because I'm going to shift a new flat actually in some time, and then I think we'll. That is a long back due that this Gita, Bhagavad Gita Sthapana and all. So I am not doing here. It is rented house, so I am going to move to my new house.
Okay, looking forward to it. Looking forward.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes. Prabhuji. Thank you very much. So, apan Bangalore achindi bro, you are on Bangalore or you are in Odisha?
No. This is we are in Bangalore only, Prabhuji.
Bangalore only.
Yes,
I can see your altar. Maybe. Yes.
Same thing, same.
Your brother also is staying there only, brother?
Yes. He's also there in the other flat. We were.
I was thinking that he is also there next. He's also there in your house only.
Yeah, we were thinking, but because of this lockdown, we cancelled the plan, Prabhuji. So otherwise, we would have been also in Orissa. So now we are. I think the kids' classes have also started. So
hopefully, started.
Yes. So hopefully we'll continue. There is no such plan now. Let's see.
Understand. Yeah, I was expecting your brother to be also there in your house, Prabhuji.
He will also.
Please tell him we are remembering him and his family.
Yeah. So sometimes they will also join if in future.
Yeah. Really looking forward to it.
Yeah. that linking
Yes.
will happen. Let's see. Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes.
So one thing, Prabhuji.
Definitely, we are praying for him that he will be also our regular member.
One thing, Prabhuji, for last 21 days, we were attending this mantra meditation program. So from actually, my wife also attended. I along with my wife attend that program every day without a miss. And today is the last day. And
Yes.
today, there actually she got inspired to do this meditation, mantra meditation, along with me together. Since
Very
last
nice.
21 days, we are doing it together, Prabhuji. And seeing us also, my kids are also, they are getting inspired, and they are chanting. They are in their own level, in their own pace. They are doing it. So we are not teaching them, but they are not like they are doing one complete mala, but they are able to see us.
I think she had sung a Narsimha Pranam Prabhu, and you had recorded and you had said it. Is it
Yes,
correct?
yes.
Yes. I remember. She's singing nicely.
When you came last time, she
so
was
much of
only.
devotion.
When you came last time, she was only singing one paragraph. Now she's able to sing all the things.
Very good, Kar. Very.
Our
And next time I visit, you'll learn one more bhajan, okay? Okay.
yes.
Very
She's also
good.
Prabhuji. She's also attending that story glory sessions every
Okay.
Wednesday and Saturday. So in Wednesday, the Sonia Mataji
Sonia Mate.
is teaching the bhajans. She's able to get that also. She has already learned around 2-3 bhajans now, thanks to your
Very good.
education, and Deepak Prabhuji and Deepali Mataji they had put me on that group. So she's also enjoying that the thing.
Very good. प्रभु जी जितेंद्र प्रभु राजश्री मत जश्न को भी डाल दीजिए वहां पे वो स्टोरी रहता है बहुत अच्छा रहता है ना सो यू विल आल्सो एंजॉय इट और उसी की एज ग्रुप में रहते हैं सो डेफिनेटली यू विल एंजॉय एंड यस ही इज लुकिंग फॉरवर्ड टू इट very good bro, very happy to hear like आपका जो ये 21 days like how Mataji got inspired and has been like now started chanting also. This is very nice. So abhi kitna like now how many rounds Mataji? 2 rounds you are chanting every day or 4 rounds?
2 rounds, and today I started following the 6, so today 4 rounds I did.
Very well. Yes.
Today is we were just thinking, Prabhuji, we are just thinking 1 or 2 weeks back about Ekadasi, and it was a coincidence that Deepak Prabhuji and Deepali Mataji had this session last week about Ekadasi and about the importance of Ekadasi.
So basically what we say, Prabhuji, is that like especially in Krishna consciousness, there is nothing happens by chance. Everything happens by the arrangement of the Lord. Some sincere devotee desires strongly, and the Lord fulfills the desire. So it is not that by chance Deepak Prabhu did it, but because you had the strong desire, Deepak Prabhu was bound to do it.
So today we have started. We hope with all of your blessings, we continue for entire life. This is what we.
Very good. Yes, bro. Yes, bro. So, like, initially, like, yes, there could be a lot of skepticism, but then, like, everybody, when the kids, they look forward to it because, this is the day to really, purify our consciousness, increase our consciousness to be attached more and more to Krishna. Very good. And I see Khushbu Mataji and Sirisa Mataji as well. Anything you would like to say? How you have been spending your time during this lockdown? What keeps you going? Because why I brought up is that, like, especially in my office as well, there are a couple of colleagues, right, like, who have been struggling so much. right? Especially over the last 1.5 months, a lot of colleagues got directly and indirectly got affected. And once they're coming out of, right, even this COVID, but they're going through so much of depression. And it's unbearable to see, right, like how lonely and depressed they feel. But we are fortunate that we are amongst the devotees, right, like who are there to care and right, and share, right, the glories of the Lord. And so that really keeps us going, that yes, we have a supreme shelter, which really, right, we feel that fearlessness amidst so much difficulties, that we really cross over, even if there are challenges, there are difficulties, लेकिन उसको हम बहुत अच्छी तरह से उसको हम पार कर पा रहे हैं. Anything, Khushbu Mataji or Sri?
You rightly mentioned. So some days would be gloomy, wherein looking at the news and whatever is happening. So the only way we could come out of this is only by chanting. Wherein some days, even though chanting, I do chanting, especially for the last 1.5 months. It was like sometimes I do it very peacefully, but sometimes there's a lot of disturbance because of what is happening, and somehow I don't know, from this last 1.5 months even I felt there is something which even though I'm doing japa or meditation, I don't know where I'm lacking it. That bliss whatever I used to get previously, I was not getting it. So I was just trying to see where I'm not doing it properly, or where I went wrong, but I couldn't. Probably looking at the news, that could have been disturbed me a lot. And not having physical association also could be one of the cause, I feel. Though we stay in the same apartment,
Yes.
I think you should help us with that, Prabhuji. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I understand, Mataji. Like it's not unnatural, right? Like it is really a tough time, right? It is really, really a difficult time. Like being lonely and hearing so many dear and near ones getting affected,
Also,
right?
Prabhuji,
Even a sane
I want to
person also, right?
also I want to confess, though I feel somehow at the bottom my bhakti is not improving. I'm not. I'm doing my rounds, 4 rounds, but though there's a feel, somehow night I will get it, morning it goes off. That that uh, that desire is not. It is like up down, up down, up down, like this thing. It is not. I don't know why I'm failing it. So I really don't know. But this is a strong confession. I don't know how to correct it. Morning japa sessions for me are like a big task, because I'm unable to get up before 6:30. So
Mm.
how to do all those things?
Understood, Mataji. Understood, Mataji. Definitely, we'll discuss a little bit, and definitely our prayers are there for each other, and we'll discuss also how we can endeavor from our side uh, to have a strong desire, right? Uh, because you are saying it, you are bringing it out, because it shows that you have a strong desire to advance in Krishna consciousness, right? If somebody else would have been there, right, like would have said, oh no, things are going good, or I am okay, you are okay, right? Because you are talking about it, shows your sincerity, and Lord really recognizes the sincerity and definitely fulfills that, right? And right, like in how and when you will do it, definitely, right? Lord has his own plan, but definitely, right, amongst ourselves also we'll see how we can facilitate that, so that you can, right, test the process of Krishna consciousness. We'll discuss that as well.
Okay, okay.
Khushbu Mataji.
Yeah, sorry, my video, I'm not able to on it. Yeah, so during this lockdown, usually I am busy Monday to Friday. You can hear me, right, Prabhuji?
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
So Monday to Friday, usually there is office, so I will be busy 10 to 7. And during weekends as well as in the morning on weekdays, I get up and I do one round of chanting. I do only one round of chanting with the devotees. Deepak Prabhuji has provided the link. So I'm doing that one round of chanting with the devotees. And then I read 2, 3 slokas from Gita. And then I do yoga for half an hour or 40 minutes. Yeah. And then I cook for ourselves. And afternoon, especially on weekend, if I get time, then I started reading the Krishna book. So yeah, so I read book, and even in evening also I do little bit of puja aarti, and night also cooking. So it's, and again before sleeping also I read, or sometimes I do paintings also of Krishna. So yeah, like that my time goes. I am occupied, so I'm not feeling like that office is, I need to go to office. It's not like that, because I'm busy. I'm busy with cooking, I'm busy with reading, I'm busy with gardening and all. So I'm busy with
Very good,
working.
very good.
So,
Very good, very good. So which chapter you have finished from the Krishna book so far?
Krishna book, actually, yesterday only I ordered it. Yesterday only I got it. So I started
Okay.
reading. Before that, I was reading
Okay.
Bhagavad Gita. I have completed
Okay.
till devotion, till 11th chapter, devotional service for Bhagavad
Okay.
Gita.
Understood.
Yeah, and the
Okay.
Krishna
Understood.
yesterday only I started reading in the afternoon and night also. Before that, I was reading Bhagavad Gita.
Okay. Good. Good. Very good. Very good. Thank you, Mataji, for sharing, and how beautifully you are utilizing your time. You are engaging your time so nicely. Thank you very much. Deepak Pro, Deepali Mataji, you wanted to share something?
No, Pro, I mean, lots of, I mean, we are hearing from all the devotees, they are nicely practicing at home and they are engaging their family also. And I think this, because of this Krishna consciousness and practicing bhakti in their life, they are also able to they are able to face this situation very nicely. So that's the key thing, and that's the only hope for us, that to grow and to I mean, when we are in association with all the devotees, we can we can also grow nicely, and we can see the difference in ourselves and in our life, that we don't feel any anxiety even amidst of all these problems and all these situations, bad situations. So that's nice, bro. Thank you. Just trying our
Yeah, I'm really, really happy to hear that, especially the way you have started your program, family program. It was really, really fantastic. Fantastic. This is the best way that we can benefit ourselves, and also we can pay our gratitude, right, to our family members as well. बहुत अच्छा लगा. And not only family members, आपका extended family also, like Rajashree Mataji. They are also getting benefited. Very happy. So now let's move forward. We'll hear some stories. वो माता जी बोले कि कृष्णा बुक पढ़ रहे हैं या चालू किए हैं, just to inspire her. We'll study, and also we have, right, so many wonderful families. So you can see my screen.
Yes, Prabhuji. Yes.
Okay. So what we will do, we'll just we'll read from Krishna book chapter 19, called Devouring the Forest Fire. So we'll just read in, sequence. So I would request one devotee to read from here. Anybody
I
like to volunteer? Yes,
I will
Vriksha,
read
please go.
Prabhuji.
Yes, Kusumaji, please.
Okay, yeah. While Krishna and Balrama and their friends were engaged in the pastimes described above, the cows, being unobserved, began to wander off on their own, entering further and further into deepest part of the forest, allured by fresh grasses. The goats, cows, and buffaloes traveled from one forest to another and entered the forest known as Is Isikatwi. This forest was full of green grass, and therefore they were allured. But when they entered, they saw that there was a forest fire, and they began to cry. On other side, Balrama and Krishna, along with their friends, could not find their animals, and they became very much ag- uh, aggrieved. They began to trace the cows by following their footprints, as well as the path of eaten grass. All of the boys were fearing that their very means of livelihood, the cows, were now lost. When searching out the cows in the forest, they themselves became very tired and thirsty soon. However, they heard the crying of their cows. Krishna began to call the cows by their respective names with great noise. Upon hearing
Somebody
Krishna,
else can read. There is
I'll
maybe one more.
I'll read.
Yeah. Yes.
Upon hearing Krishna calling, the cows immediately replied with joy. But by this time, the forest fire had surrounded all of them, and the situation appeared to be very fearful. The flames increased as the wind blew very quickly, and it appeared that everything movable and immovable would be devoured. All the cows and the boys became very frightened, and they looked towards Balrama and Krishna the way a dying man looks at the picture of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. They said, Dear Krishna, you and Balrama are very powerful. We are now burning from the heat of this blazing fire. Let us take shelter of your lotus feet. We know you can protect us from this great danger. Our dear friend Krishna, we are your intimate friends. It is not right that we should suffer in this way. We are all completely dependent on you, and you are the knower of all religious life. We do not know anyone except you. The personality
Great.
of Godhead here.
One more
Yeah.
devotee. One more devotee can read. The rest.
Prabhuji, should I read it?
Yes, bro.
The personality of God had heard the appealing voices of his friend, and casting a pleasing glance over them, he began to answer by speaking through his eyes. He impressed upon his friends that there was no cause for fear, and he assured them, "Don't worry." Then Krishna, the supreme mystic, the powerful personality of Godhead, immediately swallowed up all the flames of the fire. The cows and the boys were thus saved from the imminent danger. Out of fear, the boys were almost unconscious, but when they regained their consciousness and opened their eyes, they saw that they were again in the Vandira forest with Krishna, Balarama, and the cows. They were astonished to see that they were completely free from the attack of the blazing fire and that the cows were saved. They secretly thought that Krishna must be not an ordinary boy but some demigod.
One more family can read the rest.
Prabhuji, shall I continue?
Please.
Yeah. In the evening, Krishna and Balram, along with the boys and cows, returned to Vrindavan, playing their flutes. As they approached the village, the gopis became very joyous. Throughout the day, the gopis used to think of Krishna while he was in the forest, and in the absence, they were considering one moment to be like 12 years. Thus ends the Bhakti Vedanta purport of the 19th chapter of Krishna, devouring the forest fire.
Hare Krishna. Jai Shri Prabhupada. So what do you learn from this story? You like the story? Just nice story, right? What happened in the story? Anybody can summarize what happened in the story? What happened?
He takes care of.
Anybody?
I mean, he takes care of everybody, including cows, all whom Krishna associated with.
Boys.
Yes.
Correct. Any other points from anybody? What we got from this story?
When if
What is
once
the
Prabhuji, once when all devotees are when the devotee is in danger, Krishna will not leave us. So we should keep faith on him, and he will definitely going to come and help us from that danger. Like the what was happening with the cow, Gopal and coward boys. They were afraid of the fire, forest fires, but the Krishna came and means at last he helped them, uh, and then he saved all. So thus like that we have to keep faith on Krishna, and he will save us from any calamity.
wonderful, wonderful, very nice. Anybody else? Anybody else would like to add?
Yeah, though,
There any points from this story?
yeah, the boys had the faith and trust on Krishna because they know he is having some quality which is extraordinary and some power like demigod. So that was the thing. Like from the very beginning, they know he is the one who is having the superpower.
Okay, 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 okay. So yes, all the coward boys, they were jumping on Krishna like a friend. At the same time, sometimes after this mystical pastimes of killing the demons, and on the back of their mind, and they were thinking, oh, maybe Krishna is maybe a different person. He's having some special powers. Okay. Any other points? So this is a very beautiful story that we hear that how once upon a time, one day, all Krishna and the cowherd boys, they went to the forest for grazing the cows, taking care of the cows. And while Krishna and his friends, they were playing, all the cows and calves, they went right to some place, right, which is really far, and the boys could not find, and they started searching, and then they realized that now they are in between a forest fire, and in that fearful condition, they started crying out. There is only one shelter. Yes, we don't have any other shelter. We have to cry out for Krishna because he can take care of us. They started crying out, and hearing the names of Krishna, Krishna ran and really told all the boys, please close your eyes. So once the covered boys closed their eyes, Krishna swallowed the fire. Right? And at the same moment, the cowherd boys realized that they have come back to their original playing place called Bhandiraban. So if we have been to this Bhandiraban, there's a beautiful tree, huge tree, right under that they really play, and that's where they have come back. So it's a very beautiful story, very nice to hear. But what we can really learn, like there's so many lessons to be learned. That how our acharyas are saying that from the very first instance, what we can learn. Sometimes, yes, we are practicing, we are with Krishna, and if we become complacent, because the go also means cows. Go also means our senses. And it goes wandering here and there. It goes wandering here and there. So our Acharya is saying that how we should be careful in controlling our senses. And without proper intelligence, right, if we just continue to follow the senses, right, we get really miserable and we fall down along with our senses. And then what happens is the nature of the material world, nature of Prakriti is that there is a forest fire. There can be forest fire at any moment, at any place. Samsara Dava Nalalidha Loka. That's what we hear in our ISKCON every day, this beautiful Gurvastakam. We hear that, like, this forest fire, this Tapa, this Davagni, this Davanala can come at any place, at any time. And what could be this Davanala, this Agni? This Agni could be three tapas. We have heard many times this Adhyatmik, Adhibhautik, Adhidaivik, how these miseries, the problems caused by other living entities, or it could be by the divine arrangement, Deivik, or it could be because of our body and mind. And sometimes it is unavoidable, right? Some earthquake happens, right? Some natural disaster comes, or right, like this man-made or or natural, like whatever way this virus comes, and we really caught in a very unprecedented way, right? And it really disturbs us. It's natural in various ways. So during that forest fire, right, what should we do, right? Yes, we take care of ourselves. We do the needful. At the same time, how much we understand that because of this, like we hear that in Bhagavad Gita, right? Devi Yesu Gunamai Mama Maya Dhuratyaya. The force of this nature is so strong, right? We cannot overcome, right, being an insignificant soul. Devi Yesu Gunamai Mama Maya Dhuratyaya. Mam eva prapatante mayam eva taranti. Lord is saying that, yes, but who surrenders unto me, who takes shelter of me, because this Prakriti or this Maya is subordinate to the Supreme Lord Krishna. So if we are taking care of Krishna, the Supreme Lord, then he really takes care of us during this difficult time. And how and in which circumstances and what is the plan, that sometimes it's very inconceivable for us to understand. But as Jitendra Prabhu mentioned, that like depends on how much faith we have, how much surrendered we are towards the Supreme Lord. And then, yes, Lord comes running to save his dear devotees. And then, and he also asked the devotees, his friends, to do something. He said, please close your eyes. So please close your eyes means, are you really acting as I am saying? Or still you think that you can do it? Or still you have some doubt that, okay, if it will work or not? Because we have so much of skepticism. Or are we just, just doing it externally, or are we just doing internally? So Lord tests us, because like it is said that, like Lord tests us, that is there really an actor, that he's just acting and calling out? Like we always give this example, right? The mother and a child. If a child is really crying, the mother, sometimes thinks that, okay, does the child really need me, or the child really needs some toys. The child would be calling mummy, mummy, but the child's intention is to really get some toys. Right? Then Lord says that, okay, you don't need me, but you need toys. Okay, I'll give you toy. But then if the child is really looking forward and crying intensely, oh mummy, I need you, not anything else, then definitely, right, mummy kind of takes care of the child. But before that, uh, mother kind of uh, like test the child, right? Because mother is like, of course, in this natural environment, right? Yeah, mother maybe could be busy with so many activities, but of course, Lord wants, right, the devotees to come to him. Like he has a more eagerness, more desire. But at the same time, right, the agents of the Lord, they also want to ensure that this actor doesn't come and disturb Lord Krishna, right, in his pastimes. So the agents of Krishna ensures that whoever is coming to the abode of Krishna or really want to do, be participating in the pastimes of Krishna is really genuine. He's sincere. He's serious. That's why, right, we get also those tests, right? Sometimes, right, those tests, right, it breaks our faith. Oh, why it is happening to me? I'm doing this and that. But at that time, right, like like we always give this example of a child and appearing for the exam. Right? If we think that, okay, oh, why this exam is to me, right? Then we don't progress. But then, right, while we go through that exam, right, in a sincere way, then we really get promoted to the next class. So how, right, different circumstances, right, how you use that time, how we learn from that and the circumstances from that past time as a divine arrangement of the Lord, how we see the hand of the Lord in that situation, right, and make that progress. And then naturally then we'll like once again go back to this Bhandiraban, to be amongst the Lord and also in that playful pastimes. Right? So that's the journey. So like once we hear this story, right, one thing is that, okay, it is just a nice entertainment. Oh, there is some climax, that there is a forest fire, right? There's so much of fear, and then how dramatically Krishna, right, saves and the cows and cowherd boys and really saves them. That's real nice entertainment. And another level, it's a really enrichment for the mind, that we learned not only the story but also some life lessons that we can take it. But that life lessons, most of the times we use it uh, for sharing with others, or with it, oh, this is a nice point, oh, nice information. But the third level is really, once you talk about the enlightenment, or how we can bring this information as a transformation in our heart, right? How we go to the third level and we really understand that, yes, we are also really in that forest fire at this moment. We are also suffering so much in so many ways, right? Not only during this month or during this lifetime, right? For millions of lifetimes we have been suffering so much. We have been suffering so much, but still we are not able to realize that we are suffering. Still now we are thinking that, like this bhavasagar, the janma mrityu jara vyadi, right? Oh, it's just a nice place to come and enjoy. We still now don't understand why we have come here, or who am I, why I am suffering so much, why there is so much suffering. How can I really come out of that suffering and completely? How can I really bliss? How can I experience the process of bliss? Once you really go deep, once you really start thinking about it, introspecting about it, then that's the real transformation starts. And that's how we can really go deep into each of the pastimes of Krishna, right? Not only from the entertainment perspective or just an enrichment of some more information, but it could be real and enlightenment for the heart, and which can really bring some transformation in our heart. Right? What is the meaning of transformation? Because especially once you are talking about movement, we call it the Krishna consciousness movement. Right? How our consciousness, right? We are deeply absorbed in Krishna. Whenever or wherever or however we are we really thinking of taking shelter of so many other objects or other persons, or are we taking shelter of Krishna? That's why Srila Prabhupada has made it so clear for us that no, we are a Krishna conscious movement. No, we are followers of Krishna. We are meant to be absorbed in Krishna. And how careful we should be when this negative thoughts or negative energy enters into our mind. Like, for example, right, like we have our own house, and then the robber enters, right? And then, like, when the robber enters, when there is a darkness, usually after there is a daylight robbery also, right? But usually, right, when there is a darkness, right, the robber enters and really takes it away. But then, and we become so much concerned about it, protecting our house. Similarly, how we can really be thinking that how our mind is also a house, and how this negative thoughts, negative energies, negative anarthas, they really come inside, right? Start with a very small way, in an insignificant way, small thought that okay, like maybe I'll just go here, or I'll just browse here, or I'll just do that. But then, right, it takes away everything. It takes away everything. It takes our consciousness. But at that point of what is really required, we need to have that light, the torchlight of knowledge. Once we have that torchlight of knowledge, then we know that how the robber can really enter, or the negative energy can enter, through different sense objects, right? And it really, can take away our purity from our heart. And sometimes, right, like we hear, some of you might have heard this Ajamila pastime, how that Ajamila was a Brahman, and then he was the son of a Brahman. He was reading so many scriptures, right? But then once Ajamila saw a prostitute embracing another person, right? And then, like, Ajamila started to remembering so many verses, but still he could not control himself. And his mind also started thinking, okay, how can I enjoy it? Like, he started feeling dissatisfied with whatever he was doing. So at any point of time, right, we should analyze what exactly is our consciousness. If are we really feeling dissatisfied? Are we really feeling drained? Or are we really feeling how exactly our consciousness is engaged? And if we are really in the negative framework, then we should really understand that, like, at that time our battery is discharged. That we were saying that the torchlight of knowledge, right? In the torchlight there's no battery. So without the battery, can we really see the object as it is? We don't see it because it's completely drained, right? So yes, at that time we should realize that yes, my battery is completely drained, and it's the right time for us to how can I really recharge, right? Whenever, right, I feel that, right, like feeling of egoistic, feeling of demanding or comparing or criticizing, or like so many different ways, right? This anarthas, right? Like, especially in mobile, right? We see that red bar, right? And when we realize that, okay, and the battery is discharged, and that is a signal for us. So similarly, how do you know that our battery got discharged, right? And then we would have that mood of complaining, criticizing. We complain about some person, we complain about the situation, we criticize somebody or some situation, or we start comparing, oh, he's doing that or she is doing that, right? Like we get trapped into this 3C disease. Right. So that means, right, we can really introspect and diagnose ourselves that yes, our battery is discharged at this point of time, because we are not able to see the arrangement of the Lord, we are not able to see the divine hand of the Lord. We are really, we need to see in our life what are our ambitions and what are our needs, because most of the times we take into account some of the ambitions as also a needs, right? How at any point of time we should really focus that, okay, this is my need and these are my ambitions, right? How can I really fulfill my needs? And then, right, like we'll see that, okay, progressively, right, I really look forward to fulfill those ambitions. But then the real need of the soul, what exactly is required? Real need of the body, what exactly is required? Am I really evaluating that? And if, as long as my needs are taken care, right, I feel that, like, the battery is so much charged, right, that it doesn't really look for any other ways to get uh, get robbed, because battery is charged, so you really see the light. Yes, it is very important for us. Like there is this beautiful pastime of some of you have started reading Bhagavatam, Srimad Bhagavatam, still first canto. There is the pastime of Vyasadev. पहले ही भागवतम चालू होते ही एक कहानी चालू होती है व्यासदेव. व्यासदेव वो क्या करते थे? He is the author of all the scriptures. Pura Ved, like he had written all the Vedas. He was doing all the sandhyas very properly, right? And like from our perspective, right, like if somebody is doing regular morning program, somebody is chanting so sincerely, somebody is really jitna bhi ho sake, right, attending some virtual programs, but still, right, we are not able to connect to Krishna. We still there, we feel some vacuumness, right? We are not able to release the process of Krishna consciousness, right? And that's what Vyasadeva was feeling. He was feeling dissatisfied even after writing all the Vedas, even after following all the scriptures, right? Even after that, yes, he knew that, right, Lord is the supreme. Even if he had that knowledge as well, but still he was dissatisfied. Why? Then once his spiritual master Narad Muni came and showed him the torchlight, right? What is the torchlight? Yes, you have not connected with the Supreme Lord Krishna. It's not about our externals, right? Internally, from our conscious perspective, how we are taking shelter of Krishna. Have we really absorbed our consciousness like a sponge, right? Like if you put that sponge in the water, right, it really soaks the water. But if we same sponge, if we cover it with the plastic, right, yes, we might be attending a program or we might be chanting our rounds, but if you just cover that sponge with a plastic, can it really absorb any water? So most of the times what happens, like yes, we have been practicing this process of Krishna consciousness for a couple of months or few years or maybe few decades, right? But if we just do it superficially, right, bringing that cover of ego and bringing that cover of self, right, without having that faith in Krishna, without surrendering our, right, offering, we are offering everything to Krishna, it's very difficult to feel that connect. So what we really need is that we need to pray to Supreme Lord. We need to pray to the acharyas. That's what, like we always give this example of child and mother, right? Like we need to really cry. we need to cry that, yes, Lord, right? Like, I have had enough of all these right toys. I need you. And as long as we are serious and sincere, really in calling out the love of the Lord, and to realize the love of the Lord and the hand of the Lord in every situation, then we will really feel blissful. We will really feel blissful. And then, as we saw in that past time, we'll automatically transferred back to that Bhandira tree, where we'll really feel that presence of Krishna. But before that, what is required? Krishna will say, close your eyes, right? We have to, right? Yes, acharyas will say, right? Do this, do that, with enthusiasm, with patience, and with the determination. We have to follow the process of devotional service, right? With enthusiasm, with patience, and with determination, right? Because this attachment or this attraction for Krishna, right, is also a matter of determination. Is a matter of also prioritization. Right? So how we are really prioritizing Krishna in our life? How we are determined to follow this process of Krishna consciousness in our life? So once we are really focused, definitely Lord will reciprocate. Definitely, right? We'll see how we can really feel. Yes, it is not easy, like especially in the process of this Krishna Bhavanamrit, right? The beginning is sadhu sangha, and at the end also, right? Like we process, that's why we call it sankirtan, right? This association is so important for us. Like how we have that strong desire to associate, and like this association is also like a door, and door, right? Yes, it's opened, right? How? When we serve, right? This door of association opens when we serve. So that is the key to unlock, right? The association, the value of association, right? Once we have that submissive mood, once we have that right serving mood, right, for the devotees, for the Lord, right, then we'll see that how we'll be able to really release that association as well, that Vaishnava satsang as well. Yeah. Because otherwise we'll continue to see that, okay, right, I am the enjoyer, I am the proprietor, I am the controller, or what do we think? Or do we think that, okay, I don't know, right, if this process works, or maybe it worked for him, might not work for me, right? There would be so much doubts, but then, right, we have done that, right, gone through that skepticism, right, over so many lifetimes. And our acharya is saying that, why not give this one life to Krishna? Why not give little bit of love, right, in whatever way? Because see, in whatever the material objects we have, right, like either it's our body or our property or whatever it is, right, like we can do three things. It can go three things, right? Either we can enjoy it for ourselves, or we can offer it, right, for the pleasure of the Lord, and or third thing, it will just get destroyed, right? This body also, right? Like, if you we can just use it, right, and enjoy it ourselves, but then we know that ye sansparsaja bhoga dukkha yena evate adi antavanta kaunteyo na tesu ramate buddha. Right? Yes, we are trying to enjoy for ourselves, but still we are not happy, right? Or if you just don't enjoy for ourselves, right? Yes, it's just a matter of time, this body will get destroyed. The third thing, what we can do, we can really offer it for Krishna, right? How? This kaya, mana, bhakya, how we can offer it for Krishna. In whichever way the Lord wants us to engage. Lord is called Hrishikesha, is the master of the senses. So how we can really engage our senses, how we can really dovetail whatever the skills or intelligence we have, right, in the Lord's service, in whichever way it is. And then all the senses gets purified. And once the senses gets purified, right, we'll see that how, all the mind and intelligence, right? They also feel, blissful, because it's a, like, a virtuous process, right? It can be otherwise also a vicious process, also vicious cycle, right? With that vicious cycle, we really go down. With a virtuous process, we really go up and up, right? But it starts with a little bit of faith. It starts with, a little bit of endeavor from our side, right? Because yes, faith means, right, there has to be a surrender. Surrender means, we have to serve, we have to act in some ways, right? It cannot be just a superficial, right? It's just artificial, right? It has to come from within, because Lord knows, Lord is there as in Paramatma in our heart, right? So we might say so many things, but then Lord knows what exactly is in our heart. So, but once you pray sincerely to the Supreme Lord, He really removes all the anartha. Srunata Sakata Krishna, Punya Sravana Kirtana, Vidhu Noti, right? Like, He cleans. He becomes as a cleaner, as a sweeper, to clean our heart, and through which we can really release the process of Krishna consciousness. Yes, and this process, right? Like, we cannot wait, for some external inspiration, for some impetus. Yes, there are so many ways, right? We can really inculcate that, but there are so many devotees, right? Like, there was one devotee in our movement called Vishnujan Swami Maharaj, right? So he used to hardly sleep. Like, he used to be the last one to sleep and first one to get up, right? Like, he was staying in ashram, and then till late night he would be really taking care of the washing of clothes of devotees, and then he would be the first one to wake up early in the morning, and he would be taking care of pressing the clothes of devotees, and the whole day, right? Like, he would be engaging in so much of devotion. So he was really known for his kirtan. He was one of the kirtan samrat. Because of him, Lord, many devotees have come into our movement, right? So early in the morning, right, he would go, for all the devotees, and would sing so melodiously, of course, not like boasting that, okay, uh, I have woke up and I am trying to wake you up, but then say that, okay, Jeev Jago, melodiously. He would encourage all the devotees to wake up early in the morning, and chant and follow the process of Mangalarti, right? So, yes, this is also a self-motivated process. There has to be also some push within ourselves. Some push has to come within ourselves, that how we have to take it sincerely, seriously, without any ulterior motive. And once we do it, we really experience it. Yes, in some instances, right? Right. There is this nice pastime in Chaitanya Charitamrita. This pastime, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is the Supreme Lord, Sri Krishna Chaitanya, Radha Krishna, Nahi Anya. Mahaprabhu had a strong desire to go to Vrindavan. So, and he wanted to go alone, but then with the persuasion of devotees, then he went there along with one of his associates called Balabhadra Bhattacharya. And he went there, he was always in ecstatic mood, right? He was staying in a place called Akrur Ghat, and then during the daytime he used to go to this Imli Tal near Yamuna river, to always be absorbed in this mood of Radharani. And one day this Balabhadra Bhattacharya, he would come to Mahaprabhu, and he would say that, Mahaprabhu, I have heard that in Kalia, like in this Kalia Hrada, or in this Yamuna river, now Krishna is dancing. He's performing the same pastime as he was doing in this during this Kalia Daman Lila. And then Mahaprabhu kind of just slapped him lovingly and said that, no, who kind of told you this? And then next day morning, some of the local people, they came and they told no, that was not a right, like, Kaliya Daman Leela, but there was this boatman. He was going every day, right, to catch the fishes with a lantern. So that really gave this, image of, like, Kaliya Daman Leela, but it was just a boatman. But you see this Balabhadra Bhattacharya, like this pastime, like he was staying with Krishna, right? Like, but then his thought process went to something ordinary, right? Ordinary boatman, ordinary pastime, right? So sometimes, like, we are with this holy name, we are with this holy association of devotees, right? We are with this best of philosophy, but sometimes we think that something else can really help us. Something else can really is something better. But we need to really realize that whatever this process has been given by Srila Prabhupada, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and our acharyas, this is the best of it, right? Nothing can be better than that. Like, Uta Madhbhava Agata. There are so many devotees, so many people, they have received it, they have practiced it, they have said it, they have released it. So we have to follow it with that faith, with that Shraddha. Not really just being with Krishna, being with Mahaprabhu, but thinking that there is somewhere else Krishna is there. Thinking ordinary to be extraordinary and extraordinary to be ordinary. That is this Kali Yuga mentality that we have at this point of time. That how we are being blessed with this Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, Chaitanya Charitamrita. We are blessed with this chanting of the holy name. We are blessed with the association of the devotees. And how we can really take advantage of it and not really take it cheaply. So once we are grateful for it, whatever we have received, we'll appreciate it and we'll realize it. And then we'll really feel that natural blissfulness in our heart. For that, what is really required? We have to just realize the value of what we have been receiving. So it all starts initially with our faith in these words of Guru, Sadhu, and Shastra. And yes, all of us are also having the same fortune what Srila Prabhupada and Bhakti Saraswati Thakur had. Just they followed the words of the spiritual master and they really released it and they shared it. And the same opportunity is with us as well. What Srila Prabhupada, Bhakti Saraswati Thakur, or our acharyas. So it's really up to us how strongly, right, we inculcate that values in our life and really bring some transformation in our heart and share with others and what we have received. Yes, that's what we call Namaruchi, Jivadaya, Vaishnava Seva. These are the three pillars of our movement. Namaruchi, yes, how we have deep yearning for the holy name, crying for that holy name. That yes, oh Lord, right? Somehow or other, I'm not having that taste because I'm suffering from this disease of jaundice. But then I know that if I just practice it over a period of time, I will get it. Practice is in my hand, but to get the test, it's in your hand, oh my Lord. I'm not just praying to, for my satisfaction or just to get taste, but I am doing it for your pleasure. Whatever pleases you. Whatever pleases you. So once we do this process of Krishna consciousness, not for our enjoyment, but for the pleasure of the Lord, just as a matter of discipline, just a matter of obedience, just a measure of self-control within us. These are the especially in this right first canto, this the three qualities that has been mentioned very importantly: self-control, discipline, obedience. These are three important qualities of a disciple. These are three important qualities of a practicing devotee. So once we put that much into our heart, and then things will get revealed automatically. This is what within our hand. How to pray for that Krishna's holy name. That sincere desire in our heart. Like we heard that earlier, our Avinash Prabhu, yes, we wanted to perform Ekadasi, and then how Lord manifested wonderfully arranged that yes, we hear the glories of Ekadasi, that in all the different ways, how much we get really benefited out of it. So yes, we are performing this devotional service, not that Supreme Lord will get benefited, or our acharyas or some devotee will get benefited. It's for ourselves. So like once you are in front of the mirror, right? It's not that we are decorating the mirror, we are decorating ourselves. So once you take care of ourselves, automatically the object in the mirror, also will get beautified. So yes, so first, yes, we have to take care of. So we have that sincere desire in our heart, and then once you put that faith in that process, which is being blessed by the Supreme Lord, and then we surrender to the Supreme Lord with our effort in performing that activity. And then, as in the past time we heard, this will go back once again to the Bhandiraban to feel that bliss of Krishna consciousness. Hare Krishna. Any thoughts, comments, questions? Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Very wonderfully you narrated this pastime of.
Any reflection from this pastime once again? Like as you discussed, like the same, Krishna devouring this forest fire, has various levels of realizations. Like as I said, one could be just from the entertainment perspective. Wow, there's so much of climax, right? Like there's a forest fire, right? And the cows and cowherd boys getting to be devoured, right? And then right, Krishna entering and really taking care of everybody and going back to the bliss. Right? The second level we heard is that enrichment, right? How we can really learn so many beautiful life lessons from this pastime. That if we just let loose our senses, it really wanders here and there. It really gets lost, as the cows had got lost. And then once we follow those senses by fulfilling those desires, we also get lost. And then once we are getting lost, it's just a matter of time. Then we are coming across with that forest fire with so much of conflict within our heart, so much of anarthas in our heart. Then at that point of time, once you're calling out sincerely to the Lord by calling out his name, let's call out the names of the Lord. Let's this beautiful verse is there. You want to repeat that prayer, whatever the cowherd boys had repeated. Let's repeat these verses. And then we'll realize that Krishna is there once we follow his instructions of closing their eyes. But before that, we have to call out Krishna with a deep crying. Okay, please repeat after me. Krishna, Krishna Mahavira.
Krishna, Krishna Mahavira.
Krishna Krishna Mahavira,
Krishna Krishna Mahavira,
He Rama Mogho Vikrama,
He Rama Mogha Vikrama,
He Rama Mogha Vikrama,
He Rama Mogha Vikrama,
Tavagnina Dahyamanan,
Davagnina Dahyamanan,
Nina Dahyamanan,
Davagnina Dahyamanan,
Prapannam Stratum Arthatham,
Prapanam Arhatha,
Prapannam Stratum Arhata.
Prapanam Arhatha.
Once again, we will chant from our heart. Like as we said, there are three levels. One for entertainment, enrichment, and the for enlightenment. Really calling out that yes, we are in that forest fire and we are suffering so much. And oh Lord, there is nobody else who can really help us. And we don't have any doubt for that. Krishna, you can help us, and also all the living entities, and to come out of this forest fire that we have been there. With raising hands, let's call out Krishna and Rama. Krishna Krishna Mahavira,
Krishna Krishna Mahavira,
He Rama Mogha Vikrama,
He Rama Mogha Vikrama,
Tavagnina Dahyamanan,
Davagnina Dahyamanan,
Prapanna Stratum Arhatha.
Arhatha.
Anybody can read? I see Tina Mataji. Tina Mataji, you can read the translation.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. The cowherd boys said, O Krishna, Krishna, most powerful one, O Rama, you whose prowess never fails. Please save your devotees who are burnt to be burned by this forest fire, who are about to be burned by this forest fire and have come to take shelter of you.
Please read the next translation as well.
Krishna, certainly your own friends shouldn't be destroyed. O knower of the nature of all things, we have accepted you as our Lord, and we are souls surrendered unto you.
So, cowherd boys are praying, Tvam Nathas Tvan Parayana, right? We are accepting you as the Supreme Lord. You are the Lord who takes care of his devotees, and we are completely surrendered unto you. So yes, once we are taking shelter of the Lord in the mood of Draupadi, in the mood of Gajendra, that oh Lord, you are the only shelter for us, and we really feel the presence of the Lord in our heart, right? How Lord reciprocates with us, sometimes it's difficult to understand. It's difficult. It's inconceivable for us to understand, because ultimately, right, of course, all of us have come here, right, to come out of that hospital. That this is a hospital, right? So, like somebody is there in the hospital, right? It is being getting treated in the hospital, and then he gets promoted as a doctor, right? And he stays and takes care of so many patients. Or from the hospital, somebody really gets cured and he really goes back, right, to the normal life. Okay? So similarly, right, in this world of hospital, somebody really gets treated, right, and taking care of so many other souls, taking care of so many other living entities, right? That's wonderful. And somebody really says, okay, now job is done, heart is purified, right? There's no much anarthas, right? Heart is really absorbed and so much soaked, right, with Krishna. And then yes, now time to go back and be in the eternal pastimes of the Lord. And that really becomes the festival, right? So how do you really understand the right, the divine arrangement of the Lord, only a devotee can understand. That's why Lord is saying that bhaktya mam abhijanati. Only a devotee can understand, right? How either staying in the right this material planet or going out of the material planet. It's Lord's desire. And how do you really understand it, right? So yes, we are here not to exist, right, permanently, right? We are here to exit, not only exit ourselves, but also helping others to exit from here. So we have to understand the deeper meaning of our life, and whatever we have received, how we can share it with others. Hare Krishna. Any other questions, comments, or reflections? Would love to hear from you.
Prabhuji, I have a question about concentration during chanting. When we are staying in a city, there are a lot of distractions, especially in the later hour of the days. Like we have many sound pollution and other things also, which are to which we are surrounded by. So at that time, if we are chanting, then how to do it? Do it with full concentration and any practical tips, Prabhuji?
Yeah, yeah, very nice point. Very nice point. So we always hear and remind, and you must have also seen, right, a baby sleeping on the lap of a mother in a crowded railway station or in a busy right train, right? How it is, because that child feels sheltered in the lap of the mother, right? That's why there's a nice verse. It's Narayana para sarve na kutoschana bibhyati swarga apavarga narakesu api tulyartha darshanam. For a devotee whose consciousness is always absorbed in Krishna, and it really doesn't matter. Yes, initially, right? Yes, it matters a lot. We really get affected by it, and we should take care of it. We should do the needful. But at the purity stage, right? Yes, a person really feels that it's arrangement of the Lord, and yes, I have to take care. I have, like we are hearing this pastime of Prahlad Maharaj a couple of weeks back. Right? Interesting that okay, once Prahlad was thrown from the cliff of the mountain, he was thinking that okay, I'm just going to my mother Bhumi Devi. Or when he was thrown into the right, like in the snakes, I think that okay, I'm just going to my father's associates, Ananta Sesa, the friends of Ananta Sesa. That of course we cannot imitate, right, Prahlad Maharaj. Definitely we cannot imitate, right? Or we cannot even imitate the Sod Goswamis, right? All the Rupa Sanatan Goswami, Jiva Goswami, who had left everything, whatever they had, right? And they were sleeping on, right, on a different tree every night, right? And with, like, especially once you go to Vrindavan, there's so much of hot and so much of, right, like this and that, right? But they were blissful, right? Yes, and they were hardly eating anything, hardly sleeping anything. Right? Definitely we cannot imitate. But what we need to say is that, like, you see what exactly they were getting, that they were oblivious of the circumstances around them. Right? Like even in a material example as well. Like if person is so much of immersed in coding, if somebody is really techie, right? Hardly he cares about eating, hardly he cares about what's happening all around him, right? He's so much immersed there because he really loves it, right? That's why Prabhupada was asked, right? Prabhupada, right? What is your instructions? What is the single thing that you really like us to do? Prabhupada just replied in just 2 words, his simple instruction. He said, love Krishna. Right? So once we have love for Krishna, right, then definitely we'll have love for his devotees, right? And then we really, right, have that urgent need, right, to call out Krishna, have that sincere calling for Krishna. Yes, we should take care of the needful, right? Like as we said, preferably by waking up early in the morning, which is the mode of goodness. At that time, there are many very minimal physical distraction, mental distractions. That time we can really chant very, it becomes like a seamless process, like in a cycle, right? Like which is well oiled. Really, it goes nicely. But if a khadara, cycle with no oil, nothing, right? How it really goes, right? It becomes so tough, right, to go just from here to there, even for 1 kilometer. But if the cycle is really well oiled, right, it really goes fast, right? So इसलिए ना डिवोटी बोलते हैं, जब हम भक्त के साथ रहते हैं, अर्ली मॉर्निंग चैंटिंग करते हैं, तो माला मक्खन की तरह निकलता है. But then once we are saying that, okay, we have so many other things because especially once you talk about chanting, or right, it really depends not during that time of chanting, what we are doing beyond chanting. जैसे यहाँ पे बहुत सारे माता जी से कुकिंग के लिए, right? So cooking or eating, how much time it takes? Maybe 10 minutes, 15 minutes. But for preparing what we eat, it takes couple of hours, isn't it? We buy the vegetables, and then we really bring the vegetables, cut the vegetables, and then we cook it for some time. So much process goes into it, right? Before eating. Similarly, right, for chanting also, to keep our consciousness clear, because most of the times it's not that external surroundings that really matters, but what really exactly is our internal, what is there in the mind, so much of distraction that really takes us away. And that we can really bring it to steady state when our rest of the 22 hours or 23 hours, how we are utilizing that time properly. If we are really engaging the rest of our time beyond the chanting hours, right, in the mode of goodness, right, and definitely we'll see that, right, that will also release the process of chanting. Because if rest of the time we are already in the mode of, right, in the passion and the ignorance, right, engaging in so many other activities, which is always full of stress and going here and there, thinking so many things, right? We cannot expect our chanting to be right, heartfelt, right, and we can really release it. So the rounds also depends on the relationships. The rounds depends on the rising early in the morning. So this hour, has so many other hours, right, to take care. Right? So what kind of a relationship that we have with our family members, with our near and dear ones? Definitely we cannot have our rounds blissful if we have a hard relationship with our family members or with our whoever near and dear ones. And yes, so we should not see, that's why we call the Krishna consciousness is a way of life. It's not a part of the life. Krishna consciousness is not about the moment of chanting. Krishna consciousness is not about just, okay, just once in a week coming for an hour and associating with the devotees. Or Krishna consciousness is not about the time I'm reading Srila Prabhupada's books or hearing, that is my Krishna consciousness. No, right? It really is a way of life. How I am really bringing some transformation in my life, so that others will obviously see that. That's why they say, right, a person might not know the Supreme Lord or God, but if he knows you, then he would really like to know who is the Lord. Because that's why Prabhupada says, then devotee means a perfect gentleman, a perfect ladies and gentlemen, right? Yes, it's really hard because we have been conditioned, right, for lifetimes, right? And we have so much of anarthas. But then once you have a sincere desire, right, the Lord really reciprocates. Tesam satata yuktanam bhajatam pritipurvakam dadami buddhi yogam tam yena mam upayanti te tesam satata yuktanam. Whoever continues to endeavor in this process. Yes, this endeavor is in our hands. And then the Lord, He will give the intelligence, the Dami Buddhi Yogam. He will facilitate. He will facilitate through which we can really perform the process of devotional service. Great. Yes. As we said, we have to rise early in the morning. We have to take care of the needful, and we have to take care of the rest of the hours during our chanting. And then most importantly, that relationship that we maintain with our near and dear ones, right? And the respect that we have for the devotees, right? All these hours really matter a lot for our rounds of chanting. Hare Krishna, if it answered.
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank
Hare
you.
Krishna. Nice to see Namataji and Prabhuji as well. Hare Go.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
He also wants to say Hare Krishna. Say Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Say Hari Bol.
What is your Didi sister?
Hare Bol.
Hare Bol. Hare Bol. Very good boy. What is your Didi sister? What is?
Prabhuji, she is having one workshop right now.
Okay. No problem.
So
No.
she is in her room.
Okay, no problem.
Thank you so
Any
much,
questions
Prabhuji,
or
for the
comments?
wonderful session. We really enjoyed it. I'm sorry I could not join on time. We were out for something.
No.
We just came and logged in, and then, yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Anybody else would like to share any comments or any reflection from today's session? So once again, like 3 levels, yes, from entertainment perspective, from enrichment perspective, from the enlightenment perspective. So whatever we come across, right, we should see 3. Like, of course, we should not see the okay, just only for transformation. Like Lord has given these beautiful pastimes, for our entertainment as well, right? So we should really accept this process of Krishna consciousness in all the ways. So that's why we call Krishna consciousness is a blissful process. We can really release in all the ways. Sirisa Mataji, any thoughts, or I don't know if answered some of your questions that you had earlier. You can hear. Okay, maybe she's on mute. Or anybody else would like to share? Or Deepak Prabhu, anything else we have for today before we wrap up?
No problem. Thank you so much. I think if Anshika can sing that Narsimha Pranam, so we can have that one at the end. Otherwise, I think so. If she is comfortable.
And I heard like Tina Mataji, your mother was not well or something like that. She's doing okay now.
Yes, Prabhuji, she came back home after a month. She was in the hospital for a month. Yeah, so she came back day before yesterday only.
Oh, Krishna.
So yeah, she is still on oxygen support. Although she is still on oxygen support, she needs that support even now. Her lungs are actually a little more affected than expected. So that is the problem. Her lungs have gotten scarred because of the COVID. The other parameters are thankfully better. And her breathing condition is also better than before. Earlier, like it was really bad and we were very, very worried. But now she's at home. So she is already feeling better. Like just because she is home, she is feeling better. Rather, we are now under more pressure, not I particularly, but my brother and my bhabhi, they are under more pressure because they have to personally monitor all the parameters continuously throughout the day. Earlier, they were a little relaxed because doctors were there, nurses were taking, note of all the parameters. Now they have to do it personally. So that way they are under a little bit pressure. But my mom is very relaxed now that I'm home and now I'm fine. So yeah.
Yes, like
It's
a
been
person who has really traveled so far, once back, right, he feels so happy coming back home.
Correct.
That really gives so much.
It's been a tough month, but frankly speaking, it's only his name that has sailed us through. Otherwise, it's not a pleasant experience in the hospital. Even if it's the biggest and the most famous one, there is always one or the other thing going in your mind. Being Kalyug, you can't even trust your right hand to your left hand. So it's very, very difficult to. And then there was no visiting hours, no visitors allowed. For 20 odd days she was on her own, and it's like practically we all were going crazy because कोई मिलने के लिए उनको अलाउ नहीं है. She was so scared in the hospital कि मैं बिल्कुल अकेली हूँ यहाँ पे. अब मुझे तो ऐसा लग रहा है इन्होंने मुझे कैद कर लिया है. That also crept in her mind कि ये मुझे वापस नहीं जाने देंगे यहाँ से. और जब मम्मी ऐसे बात करती थी तो हम लोगों का यहाँ पे ऐसे हार्ट सिंक हो जाता था कि मम्मी आप कैसी बातें कर रहे हो. You are in the best of the hospital in the country. आप please ऐसे मत बोलो. But when she would say that, all we could do was make her chant, and we ourselves were chanting. Day in day night we were doing this कि मम्मी बिल्कुल नेगेटिव नहीं सोचना है, सिर्फ चैंट करो आप और कुछ मत सोचो. ऊपर वाले के हाथ में छोड़ दो और डॉक्टर्स को ट्रस्ट करो. Everything is working for you.
Exactly. And we see that like how that positive mindset and a faith in the Lord and his holy name really helps us in sailing through, right? Like, he has his own plan, but definitely, right, once we have that faith in the Lord's holy name, at least we don't think, right, in a different way, not in a negative way. So definitely,
very
right.
True.
He's always there for us to receive.
Very true.
Thank you very
अभी
much.
टेस्ट ऑफ फेथ हुआ है. एंड अभी आई एम सेइंग कि अभी टेस्ट ऑफ फेथ हुआ है हमारा रिसेंटली. अभी भी चल ही रहा है, अभी भी उसी पे ही भरोसा है. तो उन पे उसके ऊपर भरोसा करके मम्मी को घर पे ले आए हैं. लेट अस सी अभी. But she will be fine.
Definitely, Mataji, our prayers will be with you.
And all thanks, big thanks to all the ISKCON family. They have prayed, they have sent their blessings and good wishes to my mom. Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
So now
Krishna.
also pray Narasimha for your mother and for all the devotees. Okay, now we'll sing. Ready?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, I will sing Narasimha Bharati. Namaste Narasimhaya Praladala Dadaine Hidnanya Kashi Purvakyaha Shilatanka Lakala Hito Narasimha Parato Narasimha Yato Yami Tato Narasimha Bahe Narasimha Rude Narasimha Narasimha Adim Saradam Rapadev Tavakala Kamala Vare Nakham Adbhuta Singam Dalita Hiranyakasipur Danu Bringam Keshabadita Narahari Rupa Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare. Jaya Narsimha Dev, Jaya Narsimha Dev, Jaya Narsimha Dev, Jaya Narsimha Dev, Jaya Prahlad Maharaj, Jaya Prahlad Maharaj, Jaya Prahlad Maharaj, Jaya Prahlad Maharaj, Jaya Prahlad Narsingh, Jaya Prahlad Narsingh, Jaya Prahlad Narsingh, Jaya Prahlad Narsingh, Jaya Lakshmi Narasingh, Jaya Lakshmi Narasingh, Jaya Lakshmi Narasingh, Jaya Lakshmi Narasingh. Thank you. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
भक्ति विघ्न विनाशक नरसिंहदेव भगवान की जय। भक्त शिरोमणि प्रहलाद महाराज की जय। जगत गुरु पतितो अनुशिला प्रभुपाद की जय। All glories to assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. Samaveta Bhakta Vrind. Thank you very much. Thank you once again, Deepak Prabhu and Mataji, for inviting us to share and to get inspiration from all of you. And I would really like to thank all the devotees as well for joining. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you for giving your valuable association. And thank you, Anshika, for very nice Narsimha Aarti. It's very nice. Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes, we look forward to have the physical association sometime sooner. Definitely, that is much better. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, all the devotees, for joining. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, everyone.
Thank you, Mataji.
Well done, little angel. Beautiful Aarti.